Hey YouTube. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Cause I don't know. Hopefully y'all can hear me. But I just wanted to do a video. I know I promised I was gonna come back on YouTube last night and finish reading the R. Kelly book or do a video, but I was tired. I ain't never feel like talking. And last night I was on YouNow. I watched Precious. What else I watch? What did I watch last night? I know I watched Precious. I watched Pimp, and then I watched the Finding Kendrick Johnson documentary, all on Tubi. I've watched the Finding Kendrick Johnson movie probably more than twice, or I know I watched it more than once, and I just decided I was looking through stuff to watch last night, and I just decided since Black History was last month, and I've been slack and not really doing too many stories, I said, why not watch something that the world can still relate to? Um, if no one know who Kendrick Johnson is, my thumbnail might not show the full picture of him. Um, but Kendrick Johnson actually was a young man who was killed while at school in a gym room. His body was found in a gym mat, a rolled up gym mat, in a gymnasium of Lowndes High School. Lowndes, whatever the name of the school is in Valdosta, Georgia. And his family been fighting for justice since 2013. It is now 2025, and I believe they are still fighting. Um, I'm sure that I read this story on my YouTube page previously. So if y'all look, if y'all really are supporters and y'all watch my videos, y'all may have heard me speak on this story because I know for sure I then probably did this story on YouNow or YouTube. I'm pretty sure it probably was YouTube. Um, but the documentary is very graphic. They do show video footage and pictures of his body. They pretty much show him before and after. They even show pictures of his body after digging his body up for autopsies more than once. I believe they did it like two or three different times. They speak on stuffing his body with, I believe, newspaper, taking his organs out. It's just a lot of crazy things that happen. And this story, as well as many other stories I didn't heard, including the Emmett Till story, has bothered me since listening to it, hearing about it, doing my own research on Kendrick Johnson, and just hearing what his family had to and still have to go through with no damn justice at all, with all the details, video footage being missing, and then I believe it was eventually found. It's so much going on with this story, and it just makes no sense that this happened in 2013. Um, and it's now 2025, and I haven't heard any good news since hearing this story for the first time years ago. He was born October 10th, 1995. He died January 11th, 2013. Like I said, his body was discovered inside of a vertical rolled up gym mat in the gymnasium of the school. The students who people believe were involved have spoken in the documentary. It's word that their father works with the FBI or the police or whatever. Um, it's word that students in the school had to, I guess, go to the detective office and speak out. Many students were silenced. Once the family felt like they were getting close to getting justice, people who witnessed stuff, they were silenced. They wasn't allowed to speak. It's just a lot. Y'all can watch the document. Y'all can either do y'all research or watch the documentary still on Tubi. Like I said, I watched it last night. And it's very upsetting. Very, very, very upsetting. Um, Let me see. It just said, yeah, it said they did two autopsies and they had different causes of death for both autopsies. The first one they say accidental positional something. I don't know how to pronounce that word they use. The second autopsy was blunt force trauma. In the documentary, they mentioned that there was a fight between Kendrick, um, and one of the students that went to his school, um, where it was a lot of horse playing. They was playing, I mean, pulling his dreads. Kendra ended up whooping the kid's ass. They then made threats towards Kendrick. Talk about some, and they said that the father who works with the police or whatever, they all like the students in the fire was telling Kendrick that the fight wasn't over. The father then told Kendrick to pull up to the house so they can have another round. Um, it's just a lot of craziness with this story. Like I feel like that a lot of people should do their research on this story or watch the documentary because the documentary is very, very detailed. Um, I would read it over again, the Wikipedia page, but it is a lot of reading, and I don't want to be mispronouncing stuff. Y'all know how I am. I'll be reading Wikipedia and it be words that I'm not used to saying or seeing. And I do a lot of mispronouncing, not pronouncing the words right. So, yeah. Um, the crazy thing about it is, in a way, I can relate. And the crazy thing about it is, he was killed in 2013. I left school in 2013, but I left in June. And I had dreads just like he did. I had an incident where a fight was caused because an asshole was playing in my hair, pulling my hair, and actually pulled some of my dreads out my scalp. Um, the only difference is the student that I got into my fight with was black, just like I am, but his skin tone is a lot darker than mine. Me and this student has had multiple fights, multiple altercations from the time I first went into Delta all the way to the time, well, that incident that happened a year before. No, yeah, it was a year before I left Delta. Um, I can only imagine. Me personally, just listening to just watching the documentary last night and reading what I'm reading now on Wikipedia, I can only imagine. He was a young kid. Yeah, he may have had friends. He played basketball. He probably was a great basketball player, and a lot of the students were jealous of him. However, the fight may have started, it started. Kendra was the type of person who ain't play that. Don't touch his hair, don't pull his hair, and you pretty much picking on him, so he had to tap that ass, and you was mad because he won, and probably had a crowd that pretty much was cheering the fight on. I was a high school student. I know exactly how it goes down because, like I said, I can relate. I had plenty of fights in school. I had plenty of moments where people was playing too much, touching my hair, bothering me, saying stuff that they already knew was going to get under my skin. I already know how high schools are. Not just that, I done witnessed fights between multiple students, and most of it had to deal with horse playing, hair pulling, clothes pulling, picking on someone because they better than you in something. I can only imagine all the stuff that happened, and I can only imagine how this young man was killed. Um, but yeah, that's what I believe. I believe that there was a lot of horse playing, a lot of people around instigating. Um, the fight probably happened on the bus where the students were probably sitting behind Kendrick, picking on him, saying stuff, pulling his hair to get him to fight. He got sick and tired of his hair being pulled and many other things that had taken place. So he did what he had to do. He whooped ass. Clearly, from what the documentary is saying, where he is from, Valdosta, Georgia, is racist, and they knew that they was going to get away with it because of who they family is and where they father work at, being part of the law, police, whatever. Then they want to sit there talking about some they were friends, the fight ain't meant nothing, it was over something small. Bullshit. I seen bullshit when I watched it. Just a reaction. Smirking, not really paying attention. It like just watching a documentary and seeing a reaction when the detective or whoever they're speaking to was asking the questions. You barely could pay attention. You looking around. sm- I seen smirking, like you were just answering questions just to answer it, not being honest. Um, Pretty much giving this a waste of time. I don't know why y'all keep questioning me. Y'all ain't never gonna arrest me, so it is what it is. Um, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. And like they said, this story pretty much can be relatable to Emmett Till's story. And then one of the students said that no one had to climb over the gym mat or jump into the gym mat to get their shoes. They throw their shoes. I believe they throw their shoes over behind the gym mat. You move the gym mat to the side to get your shoes. It's just a lot of fuckery. Um, they said blunt force trauma to the neck and soft tissues, and they said that the death definitely wasn't accidental. Like they said in the first autopsy, the students at the school said that he shared a pair of Adidas shoes with Johnson, and after gym class, Johnson would always go to the mat, jump up, and toss the shoes inside the middle of the hole. Down there makes sense to me. Why would anyone want to toss their shoes inside of a gym mat? Why? This whole gym mat thing down there make no sense to me. Y'all ain't have like no shoe rack or anything, or no lockers to put y'all shoes in. All right, I'ma just screen share, but I'm not really about to read this whole thing. I'ma just screen share for whoever want to watch this video to read themselves. So I know my thumbnail don't show the full picture of Kendrick Johnson, but this is a picture of him in 2012. I believe his basketball team was called the Vikings or something. This family were arrested. So much happened. So much. This is what they saying that he died from the first autopsy. Yep, this is what they saying he died from the first autopsy. And then in the second autopsy, they said blunt force trauma to the neck and soft tissue. And this is pretty much what the gym mats look like. And I'm pretty sure y'all done all went to high school and y'all done had gym mats, so y'all know exactly what the gym mats look like. This story is crazy. My condolences definitely still goes out to the family, all his friends, and everyone who was around during that time, everyone who got to know him. It's just crazy. Somebody just read it. Read it for yourselves. So he say that they was friends and they were just playing around. The Johnson family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Lowndes. I hope I'm saying that right. County Board of Education is superintendent and the principal of Lowndes High School. The suit alleged that Johnson was violently assaulted, severely injured, suffered great physical pain and mental anguish, and subjected to insult and loss of life. I'm sorry, y'all. It alleged that Johnson was attacked on a bus trip 14 months prior to his death. And a student by the name of Brian Bell had a history of provoking and attacking Johnson at school. And that's crazy because a lot of these schools still do that. Students be fighting on the bus, students be fighting at school. A majority of the time, the staff members will instigate the fights. Other students will instigate the fights. And they allow it all to happen, but then as soon as the police get involved and law get involved, many people change their stories up. You won't know how the fight started, what originated, who was involved. You just know that someone is hurt, and a whole bunch of mixed up stories will go into. It's just crazy. And even in 2021, they still saying that these two brothers, with all this evidence they got, they still would not charge the people that they know good and goddamn well had something to do with this boy death. Police footage being missing, his organs being missing, the aftermath of his death and what they found out, the mixed up stories. And this family still have not found justice as of yet. And now we're gonna go to five Atlanta, and it says Kendrick Johnson court denies lawsuits dismissal and teen Jim at death. And has ruled that the dismissal of the lawsuit over the death investigation of a Georgia teen should be reconsidered. Kendrick Johnson was found dead by students in an upright wrestling mat in Lowndes County High School gymnasium over a decade ago. Wow, investigators have ruled it an accident. The family claims foul play was involved, while district court judge threw out the family's lawsuit against the GBI school board and others. The appeals court said that those issues could be fixed. A federal appeals court is asking a Georgia court to reconsider a ruling dismissing the lawsuit filed by the parents of a Valdosta teen found dead at his school over a decade ago. In 2013, Kendrick Johnson's body was found in an upright wrestling mat in the Lowndes County High School by his classmates. The legal issues surrounding Johnson's death and the subsequent investigation had been on for years, while the district court judge ruled that the family's lawsuit should be dismissed. The latest ruling by the United States Courts of Appeals for the 11th Circuit said that the verdict should be reviewed. The backstory: on January 11, 2013, students found the body of 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson in a gymnasium at the Valdosta High School and alerted a gym teacher. Lowndes County Sheriff's investigators concluded soon after that Johnson died in a freak accident, stuck upside down and unable to breathe while trying to retrieve a shoe that fell inside the upright mat. Johnson's parents have long insisted that someone killed him and that school officials and law enforcement cover up the crime. The family has cited bruising to their son's right jaw and marks that they have claimed are consistent with stun gun prongs near the teen's wrists. Investigators Investigators at the scene when Johnson's body was discovered in the submission from the Valdosta Lowndes County Crime Laboratory found no evidence of blunt force trauma or foul play. The crime lab submission found signs of skin slippage on Johnson's abdomen area, face, and arm. Federal authorities ultimately provided no answers in 2016 when they closed their investigation into where Johnson's civil rights were violated. The Justice Department released a statement saying investigators found insignificant evidence to support federal criminal charges. In 2021, Lowndes County Sheriff Ashley Polk opened an investigation again due to public scrutiny of the case. In his synopsis of the case file, Polk said that investigators have continued to believe the teen death was accidental and there was no foul play. I'm quite sure that there will still be a contingent that will believe there was foul play. Um, Polk wrote, I encourage everyone to study all the evidence in this file before forming an opinion. Following that investigation, Kendra's parents filed a $1 billion lawsuit against the Lowndes County Sheriff Office, the Crime Lab, the GBI, the Lowndes County Board of Education, which they call the school board in their lawsuit, and an unarmed agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We are going to continue to keep fighting for Kendrick because his life mattered, Jackie Johnson said after filing the suit. Dig deeper. While the defendants attempted to dismiss the lawsuit, officials said Johnson tried to force an additional amended complaint that was struck down by U.S. District Court Judge Lee Martin May. The Johnson then asked May to recuse herself accusing her of bias or prejudice related to the case. May denied the motion and dismissed the lawsuit. In her dismissal, May wrote that the sheriff's office, the crime lab, and the school board were not legal ent- entities capable of being sued. The appeals court wrote in its ruling the other two defendants, the EBI and the FBI agent, were protected by the 11th Amendment or the lack of identifying information, respectively. As for the proposed new claims against new defendants, the court found that some defendants were entitled to immunity, while the claims against the remaining new defendants were supported only by conclusory allegations of conspiracy. The appeals court ruling said in part. The Johnson then appealed the ruling to a higher court. What they're saying in its ruling last week, the three-judge federal appeals panel ruled that May was right not to recuse herself from the case. The Johnsons have not shown that the district judge abused her discretion by refusing to recuse herself. The opinion reads, neither the Johnsons' affidavit nor their briefing identifies the their briefing identifies any extrajudicial source of bias significant to warrant recusal. Rather, the Johnsons complained about the judge docket administration timeliness and adverse rulings, but those matters do not establish the type of bias or prejudice that would require the judge recusal. However, the panel decided that while Georgia law does not allow significant agencies like the sheriff's office or the school board to be sued, it say that entities like sheriffs and school districts could be sued, meaning that the Johnsons will identify defendants that their lawsuit could apply to. Given the incorrect naming could be fixed, the decision to throw out the case on that technically should be re-evaluated. Uh, Reevaluate. I'm sorry. The judges argue what's next. The judge ruled that the case should be sent back to the U.S. Northern District of Georgia for reconsideration. At an undetermined later date, the Johnson's attorneys and the defendants will be able to argue their case again, giving the lawsuit another chance to go forward. Mm-mm-mm. Alright, y'all. I'm just using this for the video. I do not own any of the copyrights to any of these articles, pictures, or anything like that. I'm just using it for the video. Like I said, I watched the documentary on Tubi last night, and I just wanted to know some updates on the case. That's why I'm screen sharing. Y'all have the right to go on some of these websites and do your own research. That's why I didn't read everything. I just read what I may have not read previously. I do apologize if I mispronounce anything. But I'm gonna get back to y'all in a later video.